So
Oh,
teachers are the backbone of our democracy, fostering curiosity and creativity, building skillful individuals, and strengthening informed citizens. They are role models to our children, offering guidance and dedication. One of my favorite educators, a man who has devoted his life more than 30 years as an educator. I'm honored to have him as a guest today, Mr. Anthony Rainey. How are you doing today?
fantastic. How are you? Thank you for the invite.
Man, I'm honored. Why did you decide to become a teacher?
Do you really want to know? I decided I wanted to go into teaching because all your summers were off.
Is
So
that
it's like,
the reason?
you're going to work September to June, and you had July, August, all to yourself. I'm like, hey, I don't have to work all year round. We can do that.
But I know that's not true though, Mr. Rainey, because I used to go to Luther South basketball camp, so you were still working.
I had some real good mentors when I was in high school, and it made education so much fun for me that I felt that that's what my niche would be as well. I went to Wendell Phillips High School on 39th Street in Chicago, and I had some great mentors there. And I thought that's where the Lord was calling me to be.
Most definitely. You started off teaching in public schools. What made you want to pursue a career at Luther South?
No, I started my career in private school at Lutheran grade schools,
Okay.
and I taught my first class in 1976, third grade at St. Paul Lutheran Elementary School in Grand Crossing. And then when I left there in 1981, then I went over to Luther South in 1981, the 81-82 school year, and I was at Luther ever since that time. And then when we closed, then I moved over to the Chicago Public Schools, where I'm at Benjamin Mays Academy, and I teach health, PE, and I help with the administration a little bit. So this is my 47th year in education.
Wow.
47. So I've taught in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. About 6 decades I've taught in.
Man, that's incredible, Mr. Rainey. You've impacted so many people's lives, including my own. You know, I've I've had a number of former teachers on the show
Okay.
in the past, and one of the common themes they mentioned about teaching is the stress. I imagine, especially at a smaller school like Luther South, where you're getting paid, significantly less money than you would be making in a public school, and having more responsibility, taking on roles as a teacher, coach, principal, and executive director. How did you deal with the stress?
It was a calling. So the Lord called me to do this work, and I never had a dull day. I was able to multitask, move things around, rotate things so that it fits my schedule. And then my family was very giving. So they knew, okay, when he walks out of here at 6:30 in the morning, he may not be back to 10 o'clock at night or even midnight. And so because of their accommodations for me, I was able to do a lot of things. So it wasn't really stressful. It was just being able to manage my time well.
Most definitely. I interviewed former NFL linebacker Steve Conley recently. He was saying one of the
Uh-oh.
things
Oh,
he had wished was that he could have won state in basketball and football during his time in Luther South. Do you feel the teams that Steve Conley on were the best you ever coached?
ooh, now you trying to make me have a debate?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what we're here for.
They were a very talented group. But a lot of things what people don't understand when you're talking about athletics is what you can control and what you cannot control. And a lot of times you cannot control the whistle. Wow. So when you get to a basketball game, you can't control what officials are going to call. So that was one of the biggest downfalls that we had. We were very talented to be able to go to sectional finals, but that whistle kind of messes up a little bit. And then with football, it's a whistle again, or how another official perceives whether it was it a tackle, was it a hold, when they plan on calling something in the fourth quarter versus the first quarter. But talent-wise, the kids were very, very gifted. So they took us a long way in a lot of situations as well. But with track and field, it's you against the clock, or it's you against the tape measure. So there's no official there to say that was not long enough or something that was short. It's all on you. It's an individual sport and a team concept.
Luther South, they've won several IHSA state championships in track and field. What would be your advice to track and field coaches?
Nowadays, you want to meet the kids where they are, because a lot of kids are not in camps or they're not in these AAU programs. And now it's come one, come all. And track and field was really my favorite sport of all the sports that I coached, because you have all the various events and it doesn't discriminate with talent. Every kid can have their perfect personal best on any given track meet. There's 17 meets, events. So you can run the 100, you can run the 200, the mile, you can throw the shot, throw the discus, you can high jump. It's all type of body shapes that you can do. Where foot basketball, you say, hey, you need to be 6'9", 6'8". Or in football, they think you'd have to be 275 pounds, 300 pounds. In track and field, it's everybody can be successful in track and field.
Yeah, you're quoted as saying that you feel any student can be successful in track and field regardless of athletic ability.
That's right. Yes. Because everybody's different. And so you got to treat them differently. Like, hey, what is your interest? You want to be a long distance runner? Like my daughter Anna. Let me tell you about Anna. She was on the track and field team, and they warmed up running at 800. But then when we got to competition, they didn't want to do it. Like, you want me to run what? No, we don't want to do that stuff. And now she's running marathons. Well, wow. I'm like, hey, I could have won a few more meets if you had just run this 800.
Okay.
So it gives them that lifelong lesson and appreciation of track and field, and they moved on to the rest of their lives.
And that's incredible. You're still active. We have a mutual barber. Like I was to learn, Cleveland from Better Images, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He gave me your number, and we were able to set up the interview. Like he was, and I talked to you, and you told me that you were going out to a track and field meet. You're still officiating, and that requires a lot of hard work and dedication. Obviously, it's not about the money. What keeps you going out to these track and field meets where you could just be enjoying retirement?
Enjoy retirement? Oh, I'm not ready for that. But every meet is different. You meet a lot of kids. And if I can help one kid along the way, it's made my day. And so when I go to meets, even though I have to make decisions sometimes, I talk to kids through them, how they can make themselves better at what they're doing. And it's a classroom. And so I'm teaching them little things as they move along the way to make them better. And I had 2 track meets yesterday. I did one for Chicago Public Schools, and I did one for Noble Charters late on that evening at Triton College. And I just enjoy being around kids. Yeah.
Most definitely, Mr. Rainey. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. You've definitely impacted my life. All my friends from Luther South, I was telling them, guess who I'm interviewing? And and stuff and everything. Like the first guest was Common Sense. I was like, not him, but he's impacted our lives as much. So, and everyone got it by the second guest. So,
I always believe that you treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you treat people with respect and kindness, it'll always come back to return to you. And you never know where the impact will be when dealing with other children at whatever point they are in their lives. And so that's really been, I mean, we've won championships, we've won conferences,
Right.
and we get together like once a year sometimes, and they talk about all these things that I don't remember. And I'm like, I said what? Oh yeah, Mr. Rainey, you said that. And I'm like, how do you remember that? You know, and it's just the impact of your voice,
Right.
And what you mean to other people as well. So it
most,
goes beyond championships. Yeah.
most definitely. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Rainey. I really appreciate you.
Oh, God bless you. Continue your ministry as well. And one day I'm going to retire. Not soon though.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
I
Ryan.
appreciate you.
You're welcome. God bless you.
You too.